What if I told you that this tiny little action cam, you know, the type that people assume is only good for vlogging or strapping to your helmet before launching yourself off a cliff, actually has the potential to be a capable street and travel photography tool? Sounds a bit far-fetched, right? Well, alone, maybe, but when paired with this new $85 accessory, the Insta360 Ace Pro 2 goes from being maybe to
hold up, wait a minute.
This is the Xplorer Grip Kit, and it basically transforms it from an awkward little cube into something that actually feels like a proper camera. But a grip attachment alone isn't enough to take good photos. That responsibility falls squarely on the shoulders of the camera itself, and this, I'm sure you're all thinking, is just an action cam meant for capturing extreme sports and amateur vacation footage, not for capturing high quality photos. Well, honestly, that's exactly what I thought too, but as it turns out, this camera actually has a bunch of pretty impressive photography features that most people seem to have slept on. And with this new grip attachment, it completely transforms this camera into something that's actually usable for most types of candid photography. But before we dive into all of that good stuff, a quick disclaimer. This video is sponsored by Insta360. They sent me this camera and the grip kit to try out, and they are covering my time for making this video. But as always, all the opinions are my own. Also, staying on the topic of credit where credit's due, the idea for this video isn't entirely original either. I mean, it's YouTube, what did you expect? No, my good friend Emily, or as you might know her, Micro 4 Nerds, also made a video recently exploring how this setup performs for travel and street photography, which is what prompted me to give it a go for myself, so thanks to her for the inspiration. Anyway, back to this, and how does this grip attachment make such a big difference? Well, aside from it giving you a chunkier, more ergonomic body that's much easier to hold and use, it also adds a larger, more tactile shutter button on the top that you can find by touch alone and makes the whole shooting experience feel much more deliberate. You also get proper mounting points for attaching accessories, including the wrist strap, which is actually included as part of the kit. And now you have a setup that you can carry around more confidently and casually the way you would any other compact camera. I do also like the fact that you can quickly remove this entire cage, meaning that it can switch back to a standard action cam without having to carry around endless piles of tools around with you to free it from its shackles. Anyway, as always, I will include links as to where you can find the best prices for this camera and this kit in a pinned comment below if you want to check it all out for yourself. Now, I'm sure you're all thinking at this point, Tom, that's just an action cam. It's not meant for proper photography. Naughty boy. Well, honestly, I will hold my hands up and say that I didn't actually know how competent this camera is at taking photos. I knew it was well respected for video, and that's all I've ever used these types of cameras for. But after snapping some photos with it for a few weeks, I quickly discovered it's capable of much more than just video. Now, inside this camera, it has a 1/1.3 inch sensor, which I understand probably won't turn the heads of any full frame fanatics, but it's still much larger than what you'll find in most smartphones, and it can shoot up to 50 megapixel raw images. That's right, this thing actually shoots raw, which I didn't realize, and 50 megapixel images is a serious amount of resolution for a camera this small. For casual, everyday shooting, particularly street or travel, the image quality is way more flexible than you would expect. But if RAW isn't your thing, you can also shoot in JPEG and use the built-in Leica color profiles, which give you strong, ready-to-share images straight off the card. Now, these aren't just some tacky filters either. They actually do look really tasteful and allow you to shortcut the editing process entirely if that's just not your thing. It's also worth noting that the lens on the front of this camera isn't just some generic off-brand glass either. It's a proper Leica co-engineered lens, and whilst that badge may get thrown around a bit these days, here it actually does hold up. This lens also supports clip-on NDs, which you do have to purchase separately, but this can be useful if you want more control over shutter speed in bright light. And for those wondering, yes, it does actually have IBIS in photography mode too. Not something you always expect to find on a device this size, but super helpful when shooting handheld. So enough of all of that, what's it actually like to shoot with? Well, being an action cam aimed at base level consumers, the interface is obviously going to be super simple to use, and most of it is controlled via the touchscreen on the back, so it isn't at all intimidating. Plus, crucially, walking around with something like this doesn't scream, "Watch out everyone, there's a photographer about," meaning that you can blend in quite innocently with the crowd. Honestly, whilst I was shooting with this, most people I passed by didn't even bat an eyelid. They probably thought I was just another tourist. However, when I walk around the streets of Calgary with one of my proper cameras that I tend to test each week, it can be a little bit harder to blend in, plus the fact I'm 6'8" doesn't help. The flip-up screen on the back is a massive bonus for street photography too, because you can shoot from the hip discreetly without drawing too much attention. And even on the brightest sunny Calgary day, it still was clear and visible. Now obviously a camera like this won't come included with an EVF, and to my knowledge you can't get an additional add-on. And that might be a deal breaker to some, but obviously the benefit of using a cage like this is that if you really want a massive viewfinder, you can always mount your phone to the top and use it as a wireless monitor. Personally, I couldn't be bothered with any of that faff, but you know, each to their own. Also, let's not forget, this thing is still an action cam, so that means it's waterproof, shockproof, and when paired with this grip cage device, it becomes even more rugged. Plus, this camera is also pretty dependable in low light too. Now, if you shoot in either pure shot or pure shot plus raw modes, the low light performance this camera outputs is actually pretty commendable for such a small setup. But that's not to say that this tiny camera is entirely perfect, because let's be honest, no camera ever is. So let's touch on some of my main gripes. First up is write speeds. Now, if you're shooting in full 50 megapixel RAW mode, each file does take a few seconds to write, so don't expect to rattle off hundreds of shots in quick succession. It just won't be able to take that kind of pressure, mainly because it uses micro SD instead of full-size SDs. Now, you can get around this a bit by switching over to 12 megapixel RAW mode or just shooting in JPEG, but then you are sacrificing the flexibility of either making extreme crops or greater flexibility when editing later, so you kind of just got to pick your poison. Now, whilst there is a 30 frames per second burst shooting mode, this is restricted to 12 megapixel JPEGs only, so it is somewhat limited. The only other criticism I have is with the wide angle lens. Now, obviously, like most action cams, this has a super wide angle field of view. Specifically, we're working with a 13mm field of view in full frame terms here. And whilst I know that wide angle lenses like a 28mm are a street photographer's staple these days, I appreciate that 13mm might be a step too far in the wrong direction for most. And don't get me wrong, this is great for capturing the tops of towering skyscrapers whilst also managing to capture the gum on the pavement in front of you all in the same shot. But get too close to your subject or capture faces at the corners of the frame and details will get a little bit warped. Now, when I did mention this issue to Insta360, they did drop a very ambiguous hint that they are working on something to improve this, which I have no idea what that means, but hopefully by the time you watch this video, they'll already have a solution for that. But in the meantime, there are a few things you can do to try and fix that problem. Firstly, you can choose to shoot in dewarp or linear modes, and that will take some of that distortion away, but this will only be applied to your JPEG images and not the RAWs. So for shooting in RAW, the best way to fix this is to simply crop into your images in post, and that will allow you to crop off most of that distortion. And obviously with this camera being able to capture 50 megapixel images, that's kind of its saving grace, because even if you applied a super extreme 50% crop, you'll still end up with a more than usable 25 megapixel image at the end, so cropping is really not a big deal. I should also mention that if you shoot in JPEG mode, then you can also take advantage of the digital zoom function, and this essentially just crops the image in camera for you, but will also make composing your shots a little easier. So if you've got an eye for travel or street photography and you want something that's small, rugged, and genuinely fun to shoot with, the Insta360 Ace Pro 2 with the Xplorer kit isn't just a clever accessory combo. Turns out it's a surprisingly capable little camera in its own right.